Hello, everybody. Hello, YouTube. Hello, art history enthusiasts and visual culture aficionados. It's me again, Miss M. And I'm back with yet another video. Today, what are we gonna do today? Today, I just want to talk today. If that's okay with you, I would like to talk. It's gonna be one of those videos where some of my more critical commenters, you know, they start losing their shit and they just can't help but click the reply button and tell me, you know, when am I going to get to the point and when am I going to say what it is that I'm supposed to say. Listen, it's my video. I can say whatever the fuck I want, okay? So this, I you know, if I want this thing to get monetized, but whatever. I'm going to talk about some stuff. I said in a recent video that I want to kind of look into or just kind of work through in my own mind the idea of how women are portrayed in art, okay? And this is, you know, I did my recent video, the Full Metal Jacket Part 3, and I talked about in that video how I want to do like a series, like an art history, like a survey art history course series, where I look at each of the periods of art history, starting with prehistory, yep, and then go through each one and talk about how women are portrayed. And it's not going to be your usual kind of fair with regard to the way that women are portrayed in art. No, that's not what we're gonna do here. And that's I said that in the video. And Wonderful Need to Know says, if you're thinking of doing something on how femininity has been portrayed in art history, do it. We definitely need that. And thank you so much, Need to Know, because that comment, you know, you guys, maybe you think that I don't read the comments. Oh, I absolutely do. I told you that they're the highlight of my day sometimes. And it's comments like this where it gives me kind of the encouragement that I need to go forward with something that I want to do, something that I want to talk about, something that I want to explore, research, study, scrutinize. And you know I love making grilled cheese sandwiches. You know, especially, like, I think Gershom, like, we laugh about that every now and again in our conversations. But, you know, I love making a good grilled cheese sandwich, and I love just turning it over and 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 over in my head until it's done. This is a grilled cheese sandwich that I want to make. How women are portrayed in art. And again, it's not going to be feminism. You all, if you've been riding with me for any length of time, you know that that's not what I do. I've said it before, I'll say it now. Again, I'm not a feminist. I don't know if I ever have been, really. But I need to talk about this because it's something that's been bugging me. And when something bugs me, that's how I know I need to focus on it. I need to think about it. I need to make a grilled cheese sandwich and wash it down with several cups of coffee. So, speaking of coffee, it is time, people. It is time to fire up the percolator, get your drip machine going, French press, mocha pot, Kubrick. Order out, do what you do, get your cinnamon buns, get your whatever that you enjoy with your coffee, and find a nice place to sit down and listen to me talk for the next, I don't know how long. It could be an hour, it could be 2 hours, it could be 3 hours, who knows? But I hope you do find a nice place to sit and enjoy, you know, the waste products of my mind. And also, before I get into the next part of the church announcement, don't forget to check out my website. Don't forget to look at the shop. Don't forget to buy one of my cards. This one is still on there. January has been a horrible, not horrible, no, it's been a busy month for me, so I haven't had time to do a lot of stuff, or, tend to a lot of the things that I need to be doing. I don't know what February is going to be like. Everything's up in the air. That's why I haven't been making videos with the frequency that I did before. But that's kind of why I'm making this video. I just want you all to know that I'm all right. Okay? I just want you to know that I'm okay and I'm still here. And that everything's hunky-dory. So far, so good. For this year. We'll see what February's like. I want to get back into making like 2 or 3 videos a week. That would be awesome. And as many videos about hoes and prostitution and, that kind of shit as possible. Let's do it. Hopefully February's Valentine's Day. Very good day to talk about hoes. And we'll try. But yeah, go to my website and click on the Japanette. And again, I haven't had time to add more pictures because I've been so swamped with work, like my actual jobs, plural, that I haven't had time. This is for me, what I do here on this channel and my little social media nonsense and my little website. And this is my hobby. Okay. I actually do work. I actually do have not 1, but 2 jobs. I would love to have a 3rd too, so I can afford, some nice coffee. That would be great. But yeah, that's that. And then, go ahead, check it out. Link in the description. Link in the part of my thing here on YouTube that says, click on these links. But that's that. So also, get your coffee, get comfortable, and returning viewers, thank you for returning. New viewers, thank you for being new. Subscribers, thank you for subscribing. I appreciate it so very, very much. It means a great deal to me that any of you care at all to hear what I have to say. You didn't have to be here. You didn't have to click on the channel. You didn't have to click the subscribe button, but you did. And while I'm talking about it, go ahead and if you haven't already, click on that subscribe button, and please make sure to click the notification bell so you can be notified every single last time when I drop one of my nonsense videos. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share the videos if you know anybody who might be interested in my particular brand of nonsense. So that's it. I'm finished with the church announcements. And what are we going to talk about today? What are we going to do today? What are we going to talk about today? Today, like I started talking about, thanks to Need to Know for your encouragement. It's not going to be like a militant feminist video. It's not going to be a militant feminist video series about the portrayals of women and femininity in art. No, it's going to be, I'm going to do my thing my way, as usual. This wouldn't be fun if I couldn't be me. Let's put it that way. People have said I need to polish my delivery. I need to polish the images, pictures. Listen, I got to be me. That's the only way this is going to work. I don't know what it is that I'm working on, but I know I'm working on something and I'm assembling something here with my videos. And that's that. But today, to kind of like kick off that thing, that's kind of what I want to do. Maybe like it's going to be a year-long kind of recurring thing that I keep coming back to. The portrayal of women in art. Okay. And part of me was like afraid of doing this because most of my viewership is male. Okay, like I know at least like 85, maybe 90% of y'all are men. And that's why the fact that I have any subscribers at all talking about the subject matter that I talk about, like these, I analyze Stanley Kubrick movies, I analyze David Lynch movies. By the way, it's his birthday today. Happy birthday, Mr. Eagle Scout. I did a little post on Twitter wishing him a happy birthday. I think he's marvelous, and a very, very attractive picture of him. He really is quite something to look at as well. But Stanley, our David Lynch. I want to branch out and do like Murnau and Robert Weiner and Fritz Lang and like a bunch of stuff. Like and maybe even like Japanese films and stuff like that. So many things I want to do. If only there were more hours in a day, eh? But this area of interest is usually, I don't know why, but it just, maybe I'm wrong, but it seems that way to me. It seems pretty darn male dominated, which is not a bad thing. I'm not criticizing that. I'm not saying that something that men are, chiefly men are interested in it, that makes it a bad thing. No, of course not. But I know I'm a minority in this kind of hobby or this pursuit, and I'm okay with that. But part of me was afraid of doing like the how women are portrayed in art video series, or even like talking about that subject, because like I thought maybe some of you would be like, yeah, I don't want to listen to this. It's going to be some bullshit. And I'm hoping that it's not going to be that. You let me know, by the way, in the comments. Let me know what you think. This is going to be like a little preliminary thing. This is, well, maybe a big preliminary thing, because I like to talk for a long time. And I'm going to talk about like the big three. And Richard, Tankard of Tales Stashy. We communicate in the DMs on Twitter, and we have fun. He's a nice guy. He has great ideas. I'm not going to tell you any of his ideas, but he's got some stuff cooking that I can't wait for him to bust it out, and I can't wait to see what he's working on with regard to his own ideas and everything. And I'm not. Don't worry, Richard. I'm not going to tell anybody anything. I haven't yet, so I can keep a secret. But I call it the big three. And it's The Shining, Full Metal Jacket, and Eyes Wide Shut. Those movies by our Stanley. And what both Stanley and the wonderful David Lynch, they get criticized a lot for being misogynist. They get criticized a lot for being sexist and portraying women as weak and stupid, and and I've got 2 articles that I'm going to read to you regarding precisely that subject, and that's how I'm going to do it. This is going to be your bedtime story, maybe, if this is a late night watch for you. I'm going to read the articles, and I'm going to insert my own commentary. Yes, I am. And the big three, and the Shining, Full Metal Jacket, Eyes Wide Shut. As far as the Kubrickology, Kubrick's oeuvre, people have shit to say about Wendy Torrance. People have shit to say about the way women are portrayed in Full Metal Jacket. Most of those people are men. Most of those people who have shit to say about the way women are portrayed. Wendy, the few women, there's not a lot. There's really not a lot of women that we see in Full Metal Jacket. And, of course, Eyes Wide Shut, the main female character is Nicole Kidman's character, Alice Hartford. And people Stanley Kubrick was a misogynist. He was he was just no fucking good. No matter how you look at him, he's terrible. I don't agree with that. I think he was trying to help women. I think he was madly in love with just all of womankind, and he wanted to do something nice for us, when he was making his movies. Let me show you. Like, I just found some pictures just for visual reference. This is Wendy's picture on the fandom website to do with The Shining, and there she is smoking that cigarette in the kitchen, talking to the doctor woman, and those teeth, oh my goodness, those teeth. I think maybe that's part of the reason why Stanley Kubrick cast Shelley Duvall in this movie. It's because she has those very unique teeth. They're enormous. And we don't maybe think about that kind of thing. So it's very often we think, Shelley Duvall was the it girl of her day in the 70s, and she was very pretty, and she was I think she was a model, not just an actress, but somehow she used her beauty and the fact that she had a look that was very in at the time. She kind of leveraged that into serious acting and serious movies and Robert Altman films and so on and so forth. But she has a very unique look, and those teeth are a big part of that unique look. When she smiles, you can tell. You could tell that she's smiling from far, far away. But the teeth might mean something. I don't know. And then we have, what's her face? Alice Harford. I found this picture for visual reference. I might even dissect this here, that you're looking at with the kitchen with Alice. I don't know who she's talking to on the phone in this particular screenshot or this still from the movie. But something's going on, y'all. Stanley is not playing. He just isn't. And again, Wendy, Alice, and then, of course, the girl, the sniper girl from Full Metal Jacket. And these are the big, like I said, those are the big three. Yeah? The Shining, Full Metal Jacket, Eyes Wide Shut. And those are the big three female characters from those movies. Wendy, Sniper Girl, we never find out her name, and Alice. And there's better picture. We got the Sniper Girl in action from Italopolis Press, Julie Kearns' website. There she is in action doing her thing. Look at those grimaces. Look at her face. She's not playing around. Yeah? And we don't see very much of her at the very end of the movie. We see her, and if you've I looked at some of the comments under my latest Full Metal Jacket video, and like a couple of you haven't seen had not seen the movie yet. And I think maybe my video kind of pushed you a little bit, give you a little nudge to go and watch the movie. And then I saw comments that say, "Oh yeah, I watched the movie, and yeah, it's worth it. Yes, it is worth it. Full Metal Jacket is always worth it." So I think you all enjoyed yourselves and you liked the movie. But so we have her, and this is her behind the scenes photos of this perfectly darling girl. She cannot be much older than a teenager here. She has pigtails. Those pigtails are there for a reason. They mean something. She has a plaid scarf. Oh, I think that's her with Leon Vitali. But she's adorable. And I can't pronounce her name because I just don't know how to pronounce these kind of names. But there it is up here in the upper left-hand corner. Now, and Nicole Kidman, Alice, in this kitchen scene. Kind of reminiscent of the kitchen scene in The Shining, where Wendy and Danny are sitting at the kitchen table and having their peanut butter and jelly sandwich lunch, and Wendy's reading Catcher in the Rye. Here's Alice, and what I immediately noticed, I'll just do very quickly, I'll say this. I immediately noticed that the chair that she's sitting in at this kitchen table is white. And if I'm not mistaken, the kitchen tables in the Torrance apartment in Boulder in The Shining are also white. So I'll get back to Alice in a second. Oh, good Lord Jesus. Hold on now. Wait a minute. Oh, why do I notice everything? Look at Alice's dressing gown that she's wearing. Her dressing gown, bathrobe, schlafrock, whatever you want to call it. Look at the color. It's the same color as the bathrobe that Wendy is wearing at the end of The Shining. Oh, Stanley, you did it again. Look at this. And she's having a glass of milk, kind of like Danny, during the peanut butter and jelly sandwich scene. And she's eating Snackwells, these little cake things or cookie things, and I'll get back to it in a minute, or after I get going with these articles. Now, let me look at this. Okay, first, this website is called Exquisite Misogyny, and I think that's a play on the term that maybe you've heard, maybe you've never heard, and if you've never heard it, it's a good thing you're watching this video because I'm about to teach it to you. It's called Exquisite Corpse, and it's a game. children. It's a game, and the way you play the game Exquisite Corpse is you get a piece of paper, okay, a notebook paper, whatever kind of paper, and you write something. Anything, like on the first line of the paper or the first little strip of at the top of the paper, a word, a phrase. I don't know if you can do a full sentence, but it's a word or a phrase. You write it down, and then you fold that over and cover it. And then you pass it on to the next person. And then the next person writes another word or phrase or whatever on the next line down. And they fold their one over. They don't look at the one before it. They fold it down over. And then you hand it to the third person. And they write what they want to write. And then they fold, and so on and so forth until the paper is full. Okay, and you can do this with one person. You can do, not one person. You can do this with like a small number of people. You can do this with a large group of, like at a party or something. And after the paper has been filled up with all of the lines of writing, phrases, words, whatever, and then finally it's, I guess whoever's running the game opens it and unfolds all of the folds of the paper, and they start reading from the first line on down what's been written on the paper, and it's supposed to produce some kind of composition. And the composition and what it means and what it is left to chance. It's all of the people who contributed each line and then folded on the paper are co-authors of whatever it turns out to be in the end when you unfold the whole thing and read the whole thing through. That's what Exquisite Corpse is. And this is, I'm thinking this is a play on that, exquisite misogyny. It says, the art of woman hating and other works of male genius. So, I didn't try to find this particular, I wasn't looking for material like this, but here it is. Let's deal with it. Let's do this. Let's clean up the mess, shall we? It says, the title of this article on this blog, website, whatever it is, it says, I can't watch the kitsch sexism of Twin Peaks: The Return. And I'm just going to go ahead and read this in an uppity ass voice, because why not? Let's have some fun, right? And here it is. It's how long is the article? Listen, I said this is going to be your bedtime story. If it puts you to sleep, good. Here we go. There's a picture of David Lynch with a very beautiful woman next to him on a couch, some wine. Okay, David Lynch as Agent Gordon Cole demonstrating the respectful treatment of a female character on Twin Peaks: The Return. Okay. I can already see it's going to be some foolery. Okay, let's go. Let's get into it. Let's start off with a bit of heresy, so there's no confusion. Twin Peaks: The Return, David Lynch's revival of the 90s surrealist soap opera, by which the weirdo director insinuated himself into the living rooms of the average non-weird U.S. TV-consuming population, is not at all in any way worth your time or mine. Period. Wow, that's a lot of commas. Okay. See, this person, this is the first sentence, and this, whoever the author of this thing is, they're already kind of contradicting themselves. He said, she, whatever it is, said that David Lynch is a weirdo director, and he insinuated himself into the living rooms of the average non-weird U.S. TV consuming population. Wait a minute. I thought, misogyny is everywhere, and, the people who usually hold opinions like this just think that misogyny is hiding behind every corner. So if it's everywhere, then maybe all those TV watchers are not non-weird, like, at least as far as this person is concerned, because I'm pretty sure they can find misogyny wherever they look. Oh Lord, let's keep it moving. It is something like mandatory that, before I tell you about the various reasons why it may be flawed from a feminist perspective, from a feminist perspective, I fawn over the show and its creator, everyone's darling transcendental pervert Boy Scout, as if some degree of appreciation is a prerequisite to criticism. Oh dear, this is bitter as hell. This person has the bitterness is seeping through their skin. I'm supposed to begin by telling you that Twin Peaks: The Return, which premiered in May on the Showtime network and has basked in a predictably benefic sea of acclaim since then, is brilliant. Formally, it is. It's pushing the boundaries of what TV can be. It's audaciously experimental. It's visually stunning and, like, weird as hell, man. Totally blowing my mind. Attaboy, David Lynch. I'm supposed to say this sort of thing before I proceed with, and yet, then outline my timid tiptoeing case against Lynch's new project. But I think I'll pass because I don't count pushing the boundaries of what TV can be as an innately intriguing endeavor. I'm in no rush to celebrate a more inventive reimagining of the passivity-preserving, life-sucking, narcotic spectacle that is must-see television. What the hell is this? Okay, let me just keep it moving. Must-see TV television. And also, The Return is stupid. I'll even submit, without redeeming value. It is not good. I wish I hadn't watched as much of it as I have. Having watched it, I feel I have lost something, some small but not negligible chunk of my life I cannot get back. I did not want to watch The Return. My plan was to be a conscientious objector. How dare you? Conscientious objector. The nerve, the gall, the audacity. My goodness. A conscientious objector. I mean, you know why I paused on that one, right? That usually has to do with war. So that usually has to do with somebody who's, they don't believe in whatever, they don't agree with ideologically or philosophically or whatever, an armed conflict that's going on. And conscientious objectors are those who, when the draft is a thing, they say, no, I'm not going to do it because I don't believe in what this war is about. Oh, this is not a war, ma'am. It's not a war. It's not that serious, what you're talking about here. And using that term in this context is really quite sickening and self-serving. So, okay. I read a piece I'm reluctant to call a review of the first episode on the Art Forum site, and my curiosity wheezed once, spat up something bilious. Twitch shuddered through its shriveled carcass, and it died. Oh, this one is just doing a little too much now, isn't they? Oh my goodness, this is a little cray. If self-important was a person, here it is. I was satisfied that there was nothing to be gained from tuning in, that I could carry on unmolested by any sense of obligation to participate in this particular pop culture phenomenon. Unmolested, eh? Yet, being weak-willed, or perhaps slightly depressed this summer, and by constitution more than slightly drawn by the morbid lure of that which I fully expect to loathe, I toppled from my desert plateau of non-participation, and in July, with resignation, I joined the herd. Okay, I'm going to tell you all right now, good viewers, good listeners, this is not going to be an easy read for me. This is not going to be easy to get through this article, but something in my spirit is telling me I need to do this. What the hell is going on here? I'm appalled and like disgusted, but also intrigued. Like when I see somebody exhibiting this level of narcissism, it's like a train wreck. You can't look away. You can't stop staring at it. Like, corpse indeed, exquisite corpse indeed. You can't stop staring at something as gruesome as this. So let's keep it moving. She joined the herd. Oh, you've been reading Wassily Kandinsky, have you, dear? Okay, let's keep it moving. My friend had been watching the show in secret, keeping his viewership from me, and I wonder why. And to abate my own sense of exclusion from everything due to being a chronic killjoy, to the point that my friends are unwilling to share with me what they've been doing out of nervousness that I'll object to it. Yeah, that'll do it. In order to try to seem game and up for it, I sat down with him to take in an episode, part 9 of Twin Peaks: The Return. What I saw was a small herd, she loves that word herd, a small herd of buffoonish men in beige suits, chasing a Bruce Willis in Die Hard mini-me assassin through the hallways of a budget hotel. I was not interested. Because you're shallow, that's why. Oh, God. I have an extreme lack of interest in midget assassins. See, you don't know how to have fun, lady. Excuse me. I have an extreme lack of interest in midget assassins, in the use of physical difference as chuckle fodder. Oh, yeah, killjoy is an understatement. It's boring. It's easy. It is lame. Lame. My snap judgment of the new Twin Peaks emerged as a moan of exhaustion. Men really can do whatever the hell they want. Oh, dear God. Lynch gave us a midget assassin because he could, and we, the loyal viewers, are expected to be happy about it. No, woman. No, you don't get it. You just don't get it, and you never will. Because if something isn't complimentary to you, or you can't interpret it as something that's complimentary to you, or whatever you think you are, then you're not interested. That's the problem. That's the real problem here. And when I said narcissism, I meant it. People throw that word around a little too much nowadays, but sometimes it is appropriate. Yes. Yeah, because he's David Lynch. Is David Lynch's midget assassin. A ponderous, far-out, surrealist midget assassin. He gave us this lame, boring, entry-level gag because he is David Lynch, and no longer has to try to make what he does interesting. If he makes it, it will be declared interesting, because he is David Lynch. He is an interesting man. Yes, he is an interesting man. You go make Eraserhead. Have you seen it? I doubt it. I doubt that you've seen Eraserhead, author of this article. I doubt that, and I'm pretty sure you're one of the people who would find misogyny in there too. And you would say that it's just weird. It's just weird. It's just weird. It's just weird. That's it. There's nothing more to discuss. It's weird. Because it's not easy and simple for you to destroy. That's why you don't like it. That's why people don't like certain genres of art or whatever, because because people like easy things. People like simple things. People like their own certitudes, and they like watching and seeing things that reinforce, that buttress their own certitudes about life, about everything, about art, about culture, about history, you name it. People like agreeing with themselves. And they seek out material that will do that for them. It's wretched, but that is life. I'm in a mood today, y'all. I'm in a mood. Oh, I'm in a mood. And I made this video just to let you know I'm still here. And yeah, I'm still here. I'm still here. Anyway. Yeah. The more brazen that which he chooses to do is in its awfulness, the more suggestive of a lack of self-critical second thoughts, the more whatever it is he does testifies to his genius. That's a funky-ass sentence, lady. Oh, have you considered investing in Grammarly? I'm just saying. This is the first lesson of Twin Peaks: The Return. If this had been the only season, I would not have continued watching. If this had been the only lesson, excuse me. If this had been the only lesson, I would not have continued watching. Oh, I'm sure that the Eagle Scout is crying into his cup of coffee. My God. Anyway, but then there's the second lesson, being women are garbage people who scarcely deserve to breathe air. Is that's the second lesson? Women are garbage people. who scarcely deserve to breathe air. You guys, I might get really disgusted through the course of reading this thing. And it's long, and it's self-serving, and it's repetitive. And I mean, I chose this for a reason, because I wanted you to see something. I wanted you to, I wanted you to, like, get an idea of something. The kind of people and the mindset that is the prerequisite for this baseless, in my opinion, baseless criticism of David Lynch or Stanley Kubrick, or even, Alfred Hitchcock too. Like, I'm sure she would have a problem with, a movie like Marnie or The Birds or whatever, or Vertigo, or, whatever. Where the people who come up with this stuff, like, where they are mentally and what's going on mentally. It's too much. I'm exhausted, and I'm not even like halfway through this fucking thing. It's a lot, isn't it? Are you overwhelmed? I've been reading it to you. I'm trying to make it fun. I mean, it's hard to make something like this fun, but I'm trying to make it fun. And I mean, have I succeeded? Are any of you amused? Other than at her own hubris, that the author of this article, her hubris, her narcissism, her self-importance, etc., etc., and so on and so. Other than that, like, is there anything, like, there's no joy here? There's nothing pensive or thoughtful about this either. This person thinks that they're analyzing something they're not. They have yet to explain why. David Lynch is a misogynist based on this series, Twin Peaks: The Return. They talked about, like, the midget assassin, and how that's, chuckle fodder, and it's a low blow or whatever, or easy to do, like get a laugh out of a short person who's running around trying to kill people. Again, this is the mindset. We mustn't ever talk about anybody in anything other than a positive light. Every single character that you see in a movie or a TV show or in literature or in art or whatever has to be a positive character. And if it's a villain, it has to be an approved villain. And it has to be a villain that is a personification of everything that, I guess, a certain group of people hate. I don't know. It's crazy. This is a little bit. I'm concerned. I am concerned because, to me, this is indicative of a really, really huge and really deep problem, with regard to not just the analysis of art, and art in all of its myriad forms. Again, paintings, sculptures, photographs, films, TV, literature, music, dance, you name it. Like, people like this want to take away the agency of the author of any given work. Whether that's, somebody who's been long gone, like an artist or a director who's no longer around to defend themselves, or somebody who is alive and well and creating actively. There's a lot of issues to think about here. But the artist gets to be an artist. Always. Always. As long as nobody's getting hurt, and whatever is involved in is all consenting adults and what have you. That artist gets to do whatever they want. Really. It's really that simple. And the artistic product, yes, of course, people can react to it and criticize it. Yeah, absolutely. I think that's the point as well of creating art. You want people to look at it and react to it and have opinions about it and write about it, And I don't know whether the author of this article, they're using David Lynch in order to puff themselves up. They got to write about something. Otherwise, this blog is useless. And let's see when the last post was. Well, yeah, they abandoned this thing. So maybe they went on to bigger and better things. I don't know. But I have a feeling that this person isn't trying to analyze the symbolism. Um, in this particular show by David Lynch or anything else he's ever done, I think the person who's who wrote this, isn't trying to understand what might be beneath the surface of what can easily be seen or observed in a David Lynch film or any film. I don't think that, and me and Gershom were talking about this really recently. People stop at a certain level. People stop at a certain level when they're looking at, regarding, thinking about art. They stop at a certain. There are many levels, and again, Gershom told me how like that relates to. Thank you, Gershom, for all of your, everything that you've told me about. You've educated me about a couple of different things, and I'm very, very grateful about it. But Gershom told me that it relates to the different levels of understanding as per something like the Kabbalah, right? Mind-blowing concept, really, really mind-blowing concept, and very, very, very applicable to the consumption and analysis of art of any kind. There's levels. Like what do the young people say? There's levels to this shit. And there sure are. There sure are levels to this shit. So I don't know if I can just, keep going with this freaking horrible article. I don't know if I can do it. Please forgive me, because this is too much. This is too much. Let me go to the last paragraph. This is what I used to do in school. I hated reading. Somehow I got through school anyway. I don't know why. I don't know how. Anyway, oh dear God. I'll read the last sentence. That's all I'm gonna devote to this anymore. David Lynch, Kill Your Television, Kitsch Sexism, Twin Peaks, The Return, Why Am I Watching This Shit? Is that the last sentence of this article, or is that like SEO? I'm not sure. Maybe I should read the second to last sentence. David Lynch doesn't get a pass simply because he is David Lynch, the unassailable, or because his denigration of women takes place in an alternate dimension of labyrinthine strangeness, prepared a la mode, with a wink and a smile. Yeah, everything went over her head. Every single last thing. Every single last thing went over this person's head. And their blog was so successful that they abandoned it in December of 2017. Okay. So there's that. I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? I want to talk about it. I don't even know if this is a coffee break video. I don't know if this is a coffee break video. And I don't want to call it a pie video either. Because, like I said, pies mean women. Like the song by Warrant, Cherry Pie. Ugh. But I gotta think of something else. Like maybe there's time and a place for coffee. And this is coffee. We're having coffee, but like there's something more going on with a video like this. I don't know what to call it. I'll take suggestions in the comments. Tell me, if I should start an alternative like series to my coffee breaks. Let me know. And let me go to the next article. Damn these ads. The Shining's horrifying misogyny. Stephen King was right. The Wendy Torrance in Kubrick's adaptation is needlessly shrill and stupid. Another woman wrote this, in Salon. Oh, for corn's sake. What the hell? Whew, I'm going to have to take my own little coffee break before I get into this one. Ooh. I just can't. I mean, I will. I'll read you this article because it's about and it's relatively short. So, okay, before I take my coffee break, let me just blast on through this. This is about Wendy and how Stephen King was right. And this is from 2013 when there was a renewed frenzy surrounding The Shining, and I think something was getting re-released or whatever in that year. Here it is. Okay. With Halloween weeks away, we're likely to find ourselves inundated with ads for haunted houses, stockpiles of candy in the aisles of Duane Reade, overpriced costumes in season-only Halloween stores, and of course, scary movies. Horror films aren't what they used to be. Nothing seems original anymore, but there's one theme that's been constant in this genre over the decades: misogyny. The epitome of terrifying, The Shining is one of cinema's most memorable movies. It sure is. It sure is. The scene where Jack Nicholson screams, "Here's Johnny," as he glares bug-eyed through a broken door at the terrified Shelley Duvall, is one that most horror movie fanatics fondly remember as scary as all hell. Based on the film adaptation, it's hard to remember Shelley's character, Wendy Torrance, as anything more than a prop and punching bag to the alcohol-fueled Jack Torrance, portrayed by Jack Nicholson. Throughout the film, Wendy is at the mercy of Jack and suffers emotional and physical abuse, the culmination of which occurs during the battle scene, which Wendy survives. The film, directed by Stanley Kubrick and adapted from the novel by Stephen King, deviated in its depiction of the novel's characters. In an interview with BBC last month, King admits that he's no fan of the film and that Wendy is one of the most misogynistic characters ever put on film. Idiot. Ooh, what a fool. He goes on to explain that she is basically just there to scream and be stupid, and that's not the woman that I wrote about. Oh, no, Sneezy. No, Sneezy. The woman you wrote about was a submissive trophy wife. That's who you wrote about. You wrote about the type of character like from Desperate Housewives or some show like that who doesn't have nearly as much ambition. She's a trophy wife, and she doesn't really know how to be anything else. She doesn't know that she wants to be anything else. She's an idiot. She's self-centered and self-serving and prepared to put up with horrific abuse simply to, maintain a certain status quo that she's become accustomed to. That's your character. That's your Wendy. She's a coward. Stanley's Wendy is not a coward. She's not perfect, but she's not a coward. Your Wendy is. Sneezy. Okay, let's keep it moving. Kubrick's misogyny. Oh, sorry. Kubrick's misogynistic mischaracterization. I can't read that. No, Kubrick's misogynistic mischaracterization of Wendy has unsurprisingly prompted misogynistic reviews of her character. Is really? That's what, you know what? Maybe this person has a point with this sentence. I'll read it again, even though it's a tongue twister. Kubrick's misogynistic mischaracterization of Wendy has unsurprisingly prompted misogynistic reviews of her character. That might be true. And that's not Stanley Kubrick's fault. That's the fault of the reviewers. If they see Wendy as, what do they call her here? Hold on now. What did they mentioned the word punching bag. A prop in a punching bag. They view Wendy as nothing more than a prop in a punching bag. These people who automatically scream misogyny when they see The Shining and the Wendy character, they view her as a prop and a punching bag. Whose problem is that? Is that Wendy's problem? No, it isn't. She's a fictional character. Is the problem of the person who wrote her? Well, a woman wrote her. Or helped her, co-wrote her. Her name was Diane Johnson. So Stephen King, Sneezy. Like he's indirectly criticizing a woman writer. when he says that Wendy's nothing but a prop in a punching bag, or she just runs around and acts stupid and whatever. He's criticizing Diane Johnson, a woman, an accomplished woman, because she got the job that he wanted at the time. Who's the misogynist now? Okay. I don't know. I don't know what to think. I mean, I do, but help me in the comments. You tell me if there's anything else I forgot about that. Anyway, yeah. So it's about the reviewers. If you see a punching bag when you see Wendy, like, what's wrong with you? What? Why do you see her that way? Why don't you look at her as a more complex human being? Why do you look at her as an object of abuse? Are you internalizing Jack's attitude? And if so, why? If you're such a wonderful person, that shouldn't be happening. You shouldn't be internalizing the attitude of an abuser. You feel sorry for her because she's her husband's victim? But at the same time, you're mad at her for not fighting back harder. How much harder does she have to fight? She bops him on the head with that baseball bat. I mean, like, she's Wendy has her problems, but she does fight back. She does fight back while walking backwards upstairs and swinging a baseball bat. And he says, stop, swinging the bat, give me the bat. And she doesn't. And you hear it. It sounds like she hit it out of the park when she brains him with that baseball bat. That's a weak woman? Oh, shit. Okay, let me get into it. Okay. Complex.com's Jason Serafino ranked Wendy at number 5 on a list of the 25 most annoying movie characters, stating that it's not often that we urge, nay, beg, a killer in a horror movie to gut the main characters, but we make an exception for The Shining. Serafino's review of Wendy as a character transitions to critiques of Shelley Duvall as a person, who, according to Serafino, is just so whiny and dense and incredibly unstable. Is just so whiny and dense as increasingly unstable, Jack Torrance's wife, that it makes it nearly impossible not to root for him to turn her into a lampshade for the hotel lobby. Okay, this person has problems. Maybe this Serafino person, is a misogynist and a sexist. But why does that automatically make Stanley a misogynist and a sexist? I mean, the fact that this person wrote, conjured imagery of the what was he called? The Butcher of Venice, or whatever, the guy that Hannibal Lecter is based on, or allegedly based on, turning women's skin into lampshades and whatever. Like, that's a little creepy. That's a little creepy. That goes beyond misogyny. That's like sick. Real sick. But whatever. Hey Jason, how long did you marinate that victim blaming for until it was just offensive enough? No, don't send me the recipe. I have an allergy to chauvinism. Oh golly. No, but the person who's writing this article blames people like Serafino on Stanley. Like, how though? How does again? Stanley co-wrote the script for The Shining with a woman. So a woman had a hand in crafting the Wendy that we see in the movie. Do people realize that? I mean, do they stop for a second and say, this is not Stephen King's book, this is Stanley Kubrick's movie, and the screenplay was co-written with him by a woman, an accomplished, intelligent woman who is an accomplished author herself and teaches I don't know what it was, literature or writing at UC Berkeley. You don't become a professor at a place like UC Berkeley if you ain't shit. You have to prove yourself somehow to get into that kind of a position. And this woman, Diane Johnson, did. And she co-wrote the script, and I think the Wendy character too. What again? These people only Gershom. These people only think at one level, and they stop there, and they're happy. That they love to wallow in their own crapulence, and that's that. That's it, and that's that, and that's all, and it's over. Nothing more to say, right? Okay, let's keep it moving. So who was the character King really created? Oh, like I really give a shit. But let's read it anyway. For starters, Wendy had more dialogue in the book than the Kubrick directed film. Well, of course she did. It's a book. That's like a freaking 1,000 pages long. Of course she had more dialogue. He had to fill up those pages somehow. Maybe that's why he writes such long books. You know, does he really expect all of his readers to read all of that shit all the way through? That's how he does it. He just like assaults people with page after page after page after page after page after page of nonsense. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. That's basically a Stephen King novel. Pages and pages of crap. Oh my God. Oh, we solved it, people. We solved the puzzle. That's what. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, so, I mean, maybe Stephen King just expects his readers to get tired and then just automatically assume that he's a good writer because he wore them out. I don't know. But anyway, first, let me just keep reading this. For starters, Wendy had more dialogue. Okay, yeah. Well, this can be confounded with the need to scale back on dialogue to preserve the plot and keep the film at a reasonable time. Wendy's portrayal in other adaptations was more closely aligned with how King wrote her, evidence that her character was written to contribute and be given more space than the film allowed. The Guardian's Catherine Shord wrote that when the novel was adapted into a TV series in 1997, it cast Rebecca de Mornay portraying Wendy with a force and confidence more in keeping with the novel. Now, they're talking about dialogue in the book. They start out talking about dialogue in the book, and then they end up talking about the 1997 miniseries. Listen, they say Wendy had more dialogue in the book than in the movie. Probably the same thing goes for Jack. Jack doesn't talk very much either. But we're not concentrating on him now, are we? Just Wendy. Okay, let me keep it moving. Novel version Wendy has been described as a brave, courageous woman whose heroics helped save her son, herself, and Dick Halloran, Danny's friend and the chef at Overlook Hotel. While these qualities were lost upon Kubrick, no, they weren't. He just thought they were stupid, okay? That, Kubrick, I'm still convinced. And no, I don't know. I don't know what kind of argument you would have to construct. You would have to work day and night to figure out something that would change my mind regarding my position that I think is very obvious, that Stanley Kubrick could not stand Stephen King. Couldn't stand him. Probably couldn't stand him, his fucking awful book. He couldn't stand that Warner Brothers basically like strong-armed him. I'm assuming, this is my assumption, that probably Warner Brothers strong-armed him into making The Shining into a movie. Like, yeah, I mean, if I were Stanley Kubrick, I'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna fix you. I'm gonna do what I want with this. Forget y'all. And he did, and it's one of the best movies ever. Okay, he took the shit that they handed him when they gave him that awful book, and he used it as fertilizer to grow something beautiful. Good for him. But yeah. Well, this can become okay. Moving on. Novel version Wendy has been described. No. Novel version Wendy has been described by really. She's been described as brave, courageous, and whatever. Listen, this is people who are stupid who describe her that way from the novel. These are people who are they've got a bandwagon that they're on, and they're hanging on for dear life. They don't want to fall off of that shit. Okay? It means their very survival. That's why. I don't think I need to go into detail. I think you know what I mean. But yeah, Danny's while these qualities were lost upon Kubrick, King was purposeful and careful in his creation of Wendy. Oh, like Kubrick wasn't? Oh, Lord. Okay. King was purposeful and careful in his creation of Wendy, a selfless heroine who is forced to operate in a complex environment while trying to balance staying alive, protecting her son, and trying not to utterly abandon her husband. She should have abandoned him. A smart woman would have. Yeah? If he's, the book is not the movie is not the book. But if what I've heard and read on Schmoop about the book, Wendy's an idiot for staying with him. Why would you? Why do we pity women for staying with bad men? Why do we feel sorry for women for staying with bad men, abusive men, horrible men? Why? No, we shouldn't applaud that. We shouldn't, if she's being abused and physically mistreated. No, that's terrible. But, oh, I'm going to get all kinds of comments on this one. I know that for sure. But, how much can you take? After a certain point, taking abuse doesn't mean that you're strong. Allowing abuse to continue does not make you a strong person. If you can take a beating over and over and over again, it makes you an idiot. It makes you an idiot. And a long pause. Yeah? If somebody keeps beating the shit out of you every day and yelling at you and telling you that you're just absolutely good for nothing and whatever, etc., so on and so forth. If somebody keeps abusing you like that every day, day in and day out, and you stay, yeah, you're weak. And if you don't even make an attempt to escape that situation, what does that say about you? To feminists, you're a hero. To everybody else, if it were a man, let's just turn the tables, eh? If it were a man in that kind of situation, getting abused every day and yelled at, beaten, demoralized, demeaned verbally, and he stayed, what would we think about that man? Whatever we would think about that man, we should think the same thing about a woman. How about that? Okay? Let me keep it moving. I hope that's not too real for you all. Balancing, staying alive, protecting her son. And again, this woman is a mother. And instead of leaving and, protecting her son by removing the both of them from that person, that abusive person, no, you stay. And trying not to utterly abandon her husband. Her husband has abandoned her, mentally and otherwise. So, why shouldn't she go? What is she afraid is going to happen if she leaves? He'll come after her? Well, now you got to pick. What's more dangerous, staying or going? Which one is the lesser of two evils? Wendy, from the novel, portrayed beautifully by Rebecca de Mornay with force and confidence. Really? Oh, God. See, these people hate women. I am so sorry. These people who are writing articles like this, they're the ones who really hate women. There, I said it. You heard me. And I'll say it again. It's worth repeating. Last paragraph, and then I do my little coffee break. If I get hate comments for this, so be it. I really don't care. The novel version of Wendy continues to live in the shadow of her film version self, as it should be. The novel version of Wendy is a misogynist wet dream. Okay? That's how I feel. How society depicts women in horror films isn't very different from how we're seen in the real world. Really, lady? Really? Ooh, that's how you see yourself. That's how you see yourself in the real world. If you see yourself as the character from a horror movie that's abused and mistreated, okay, all right. If you see yourself that way, I can't argue with that, really. But why aren't you doing something about it? other than complaining. Why aren't you doing something about it if you don't like being treated that way? Maybe you should stop listening to the opinions of people who've created a whole ideology that's based on telling you that you're too stupid to know what to do and how to behave in your own best interest. So they have to tell you. Maybe that would fix some of the problems, eh? Oh, God. Anyway, how society... Yeah, okay. We are often perceived as damsels in distress. No, that's how you want to be perceived. Waiting for... I'll just correct it for them. Waiting for a real man to come along and save us. No, that's not how you're portrayed. That's how it sounds like that's how you wish your life really was. Okay? King's version of Wendy, a true literary icon, is more than just a horror film prop and an accessory to Jack's madness. She's a heroine trying to save her family by staying with an abusive husband. That's how she's trying to save her family. In the book version wants to stay with him at all costs. The movie version bops him on the head with a baseball bat, locks him in the food pantry, and then, when he gets lost in the maze, doesn't even try to find him. She just, hops into Halloran's snowcat, and she doesn't give a shit about Halloran either. She sees that he's dead, but she can't do anything about it. So she hops into that snowcat and they trot right off to God knows where. They end up in the hospital in the epilogue scene. That's Wendy in the movie. That Wendy has agency. Stanley Kubrick's Wendy has agency. The novel Wendy, the book Wendy, just kind of lets shit happen. It seems that way to me anyway. But that's maybe... I don't know how deep I want to get into this. Now, I've read these two things. I will leave them in the description. I said I would go through these articles in a video one day, and that's what I did now. I'm going to go take a little sip of coffee for myself. I'm getting dry. But when I come back, I want to talk about her. I really want to talk about her. And I'll just talk. It's not going to be anything buttressed by any article or anything. I'll just talk. And I want to talk about this. I really want to talk about this. Everything. I want to get into it. This might be a long video. Maybe go get another cup of coffee. I think it would be a good idea. So hold on. I'll be right back after my own little break. So stay tuned. Okay, I'm back. And for the finale of this video, I'll go ahead and analyze this still from Eyes Wide Shut that I found on the internet. A little bit. Okay. Now, I've been talking. Maybe it's obvious. I've been thinking about all that stuff lately, and I've been having a lot of thoughts, a lot of grilled cheese sandwiches. I never get sick of them. They're my favorite thing to do in my brain. Washed down with lots and lots of coffee, pot after pot after pot, percolator after percolator after percolator, and. Maybe some of the things that I've been saying in this video are harsh. Maybe maybe I don't know. But maybe it's not something that viewpoints that a lot of people hold. Maybe I'm in a minority of some kind. I don't know, but I've been obsessed with this lately, and I need Stanley to help me. And I need David Lynch to help me. And I need, Quentin Tarantino to help me. Something about art can reveal the truth about existence, about life and living, and the human condition, and what it all is about, or what it really is, or what's really going on. I don't know, but I'm trying. So my channel isn't just... if you're here to be entertained, yeah, I'm trying to do that too, but that's not the main point. I'm trying to educate myself and taking you along for the ride. And Mr. Richland Law, and he mentioned the glass bead game one time. Maybe that's the method I'm using and I don't even know it. I don't know, but Something's going on. Now, again, we're talking about the accusations of misogyny hurled at art creators, film directors like Stanley Kubrick and David Lynch. And like I said, I'm going to do a series. Yes, thank you, Need to Know, for encouraging me on how femininity has been portrayed in art history. That's where the answer is. That's where the answer is. And I believe if you stare at something enough, for long enough, something about that thing that you're staring at will reveal itself to you. Maybe it's a meditative thing. I believe that the way things look can tell us a lot about not just the things that are there and that look the way they do, but about everything that they're connected to. Okay? And look at this scene. I told you she's wearing the same fucking shade of blue as Wendy's robe in the shine. Well, not Wendy's robe. Is it Wendy's robe or Jack's robe? Wait. The first person we see wearing it is Jack, and then later Wendy is wearing it. Okay, so here's Alice wearing that same color. And it happens to be a robe, or what is it called? Is it German or some other language? Schlafrock, right? It's a dressing gown, whatever. Same color. And she's sitting at a white table with a white chair. Like I said, I think the table too. The table and the chairs in The Shining, in the Boulder apartment, are white. Her kitchen is all white. The cabinets are white. The refrigerator is white. The appliances, like the microwave oven behind her, and the regular oven, the wall mount oven, not white, stainless steel. Okay, so this is without all of these accessories and everything all over the place, the pictures on the refrigerator, and this rack over here on the wall that I assume contains like foodstuffs, and the spice rack over here. Without any of these accessories or tchotchkes or whatever, this would be a very sterile looking room with basically no color other than white and gray, the metallic from the appliances. And then she's sitting at this tiny table. You know, this is a breakfast table for the kitchen. And what is before her on the table? The telephone that we see here she's talking on, that's black. Interesting. Why isn't it white like everything else? I don't know. The TV on this, whatever this is here, like a counter, it's also black. And it's got a VCR. Y'all remember VCRs? Anyway. And she's what's on TV. I don't know what show or movie this is, but it's two people walking along somewhere who look like they're in love. And the TV is placed on top of, I assume, the kitchen counter, but underneath the TV there's another white doily. Doily, eh? Okay. And behind her on the counter here, I see what looks like a bread box to me. Interesting. It's in the shot. And it's in the shot. Why? Because Stanley wanted it in the shot. And on top of the bread box, there's these jars that like have the opening like to the side and the lid like for, keeping like these staple ingredients that most kitchens should have if you cook there, like flour and cereal grains and flour, sugar, stuff like that. It's on top of the bread box. That's interesting. Is this a commentary about the cradle and the origin of civilization? Mesopotamia, agriculture, grain. Okay. But in front of her on the table we got this beautiful ashtray that looks expensive. A half glass of milk. White milk. Okay. And we've got an open bag, a box with a tray pulled out of it, of these Snackwells cookies. And if you don't, I don't think these exist anymore, but Snackwells was a company back in the day. I remember them from the 90s, and they made cookies, and they made like yogurt. But these cookies and yogurt were diet products. They were like low-cal kind of products, and their kind of pitch was that they were indulgent and delicious, but low calorie, low fat, If you remember the low-fat craze from the 90s, and you could, that was the pitch, that you could eat as many of them as you wanted, without having to really worry about your calorie counts for the day very much. That, I mean, if you were on a diet or something. And that's what she's eating. And they're open. You can't see the front of the box. You can see the back of the box with the nutrition, where the nutrition information would be. Okay. I find that interesting. There's a copy of, I assume, because they live in New York, the newspaper, the New York Times, in front of her. I don't know what article this is. I don't know. It looks like something from the arts section. Just, looking at it. And, all right. And this is back in the day. People used to read the newspaper. We didn't have the internet like we do now. And the tray of the Snackwell's cookies is pulled out, and there's 3 sections of this tray. Each of the sections holds 4 cookies. All right. And the first 2 sections of the tray have been almost eaten all the way through. So 4, the first 2 rows of cookies, only 3 have been eaten from the first 2 rows, as far as I can tell. So 3 and 3 is 6. All right. So anyway, so 1, 2, 3, 4 times 3, that would be 12 cookies in the pack. And I don't know. I assume she's the one who's been eating them. They're in front of her. So she's eaten half of them. If we're to, understand or just assume that she's eaten all 6 of those cookies in one sitting. There's something about a product like Snackwell's that promises indulgence without having to pay the price for that indulgence in the form of, getting fat, or eating too many calories and messing up your macros for the day or whatever. It's like what comes to mind for me is like, you can have your cake and eat it too, right? And then when I think of, okay, Snackwell's, you can have your cake and eat it too, and then I think automatically after that, I think of Marie Antoinette and, let them eat cake. And that was allegedly her response to being told that the peasants in France at the time didn't even have bread to eat, and she said, well, okay, if they don't have bread, let them eat cake, which is even more expensive and luxurious than bread. But so this is this Snackwell's, this product, and the kind of person who would buy it. It says a lot about that person's psychology and what they value and what they think is important and what they're striving for. What is their ambition? What is it that motivates them? That's what I think that the inclusion of a product like Snackwell's put in front of a character like Alice, that's what I think it means. She would like to be the kind of person who can enjoy life but not have to pay the price for enjoying it. And there is a price. Like there's no such thing as free happiness. You have to work for it in some way, shape, or form. If you want to live the good life, however you interpret that or characterize that, you're going to have to invest something: time, money, effort, energy, patience, strength, whatever. Something has to come from you, and or be expended on your part in order to enjoy life. Like the Beastie Boys told us, you got to fight for your right to party. Yeah, absolutely. That's just life. And the person like this just thinks that there's a way around that somehow. I don't know. Also, don't forget, she's smoking a cigarette. Like hello, where is she? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes. Look at that. Y'all, look at that. She's smoking a cigarette. Now, the difference between Alice and Wendy is, Wendy's husband is not a doctor. Alice's is. Alice Hartford's husband is not just a doctor, but like a really high-priced doctor who makes, as he says in the movie, house calls to all of these, terrifically wealthy people in New York City. And she's smoking a cigarette. Like, if anybody should know better about the dangers of smoking, it should or would be her. Does her husband know that she smokes? Maybe he knows that she smokes weed. We see them doing that together in the bedroom scene. So, and again, we were told for years and years and years how bad that is for you, smoking weed. And then we have this movie, we have a doctor, a very high-priced, very in-demand kind of doctor, indulging in that with his wife, the Alice character. So I wouldn't be surprised if he does know about her cigarette consumption. And maybe Stanley is telling us to reconsider, like, what we've been told about health and healthy living and whatever. I don't believe anybody anymore. I'm at a point where I don't believe that smoking is bad for you. If you want to know how I feel about it, but that's another video for another time. Because, they lie to us so much. And why would that be the only thing that they're not lying about? I mean, does that make sense? Let me know. There's also this little corner over here beyond the TV. It's a bookshelf. Stanley and his books. He's got to put them. It seems like they're all over the place, and in The Shining, they are all over the place. There's books in Full Metal Jacket too, and there's books here. Okay, what are these? Are these cookbooks? This kitchen does not look like she ever cooks anything in here. She doesn't look like the kind of woman who slaves over a hot stove for hours and hours to make sure that her husband and child have good, nutritious, homemade food to eat. I think she makes coffee and maybe pours her child a bowl of cereal, and I think that's where the cooking ends in this kitchen. The spice rack is probably completely useless. We have a French press coffee maker here. That's bougie. Okay. I'm so sorry. That's how I feel. I have one too, but I never use it. I just use my drip machine, and a Brita water filter. Okay. A Brita water filter. I mean, it's there, and it's easily identifiable as a water filter, like a pitcher thing for filtering out the alleged impurities in tap water. I don't know. And then there's the refrigerator behind her. The little square where the ice and the cold water come from is illuminated. Okay, I can't make out the pictures and what have you on the refrigerator door, but they're there. So this is like a refrigerator with decorations like this on it. These people think they're high class, but they're not. This is what every single like fabulously wealthy home that I've ever visited, and I've seen the kitchen, I've never seen pictures or refrigerator magnets on like, a $20 million house, in a $20 million house in the kitchen. No, I don't know why. I don't know why, but like I'm an observant person, okay? I notice shit. And I've never noticed, like, in a really, really, really nice, expensive home in a really expensive neighborhood, stuff stuck to the refrigerator. I don't know. I don't know what to think of that. Maybe I haven't looked closely enough, but to me, putting pictures, putting decorations on the refrigerator is fun. I like to do it, but I'm working class, and I think that is what working class people do, to their refrigerators, me included. But what does it mean when you put a picture, a photo? But also, oh, look at this though. What is interesting about the front of the refrigerator and the pictures? Look, they're in a very symmetrical pattern. Look at this. The left is trying to match the right. Oh my. Why is that? Why is it? Okay. So whoever is in charge of this kitchen, probably Alice, might have a little OCD. I don't know. Because look at this V pattern. made by the photographs on either side of the door handles of this double-doored refrigerator. I don't know what to think. I really don't know what to think. These things over here on the kitchen counter, like these boxes or whatever they are, I don't know what the hell that is. But they're there. Wait, let me enlarge. I still can't make them out. They look like boxes, they look like packages. Weird. Weird. Really weird. So the reason I say that this kitchen looks like whoever's in charge of it doesn't cook in it is because the counter is cluttered with all kinds of stuff that would basically make food preparation impossible. So we're not concerned about food in this house. We're not concerned at all about food or the quality of the food eaten. Basically, Snackwell's, like the food brand that we see in this shot, that's basically gussied up junk food. Okay, it's gussied up junk food with, some jingoism attached to it, some slogans that have to do with, again, having your cake and eating it too. But there's like no nutritional value in this food. Like none. And I'm trying to figure out, like, I just started with this. I'm trying to do to this what I usually do to a screenshot in like in The Shining. So, okay, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 in one row, and then one each in the other 2 rows of cookies from this tray. 1 and 1 and 4. Okay. Uh-oh. Damn it. 1 and 1 and 4. 1 and 1 and 4 is 6. I know that. But I'm not thinking about it as a 6. 114 times 2 is 228. That's one more than 2. No. I'm sorry. No. I was gonna go to 237, but no. 227? Okay, so I gotta think about that. I gotta think about the number 114. I'm gonna dive deeper into Eyes Wide Shut. I'm not gonna abandon The Shining. Oh no, I have much work to do with regard to The Shining. But I'm doing Full Metal Jacket, kind of plowing through that movie, and I'm gonna get really a lot more into Eyes Wide Shut as the year progresses, 2024. I don't know. There's a lot just in this one frame from the movie not Full Metal, Eyes Wide Shut. There's a lot to think about. There's a lot, and she's wearing her glasses. That means with this character that when she's wearing her glasses, she wants to be able to see what's going on. When she takes them off, or when she's not wearing them, she's not concerned about whether or not she can see things clearly. She's maybe even trying to obscure or diminish her vision because she maybe can't confront mentally or psychically or whatever it is that she can see, or whatever it is that's before her that she would be able to see if she had her glasses on. What'd you think? What'd you think, people? Now let me move on to this. This girl from the movie Full Metal Jacket, and people like the exquisite misogynist here. Yeah, they criticize people like Lynch, people like Kubrick. Have they ever taken a good look at this character? And I love these behind the scenes photos because we don't get a good look at her in the movie. We see she's in darkness and surrounded by like flames because the building that she's in is kind of burning or yeah, there all of this stuff. And fire is coming from her. Fire is coming from her and her weapon. And look at her. Look at this grimace on her face. She is serious. She's the one who killed all those guys. Okay? She's the one who killed all of those guys. And Is she a villain in this movie? I don't think so. I don't think so. But at the same time, she is the enemy of this, what are they called? The Lust Hog Squad? Hog. Hog is like a female version of a pig. So I don't know what. Oh, Stanley is doing it though. Um, she's the one, And is she a hero or a villain in this movie? And before you say obviously she's a villain because she's a killer, no, we can't. It's not that simple. The other guys in the movie, they're killers too. Joker keeps saying, "I'm a killer, I'm a killer." So, he thinks it's a joke. He thinks it's a joke. But, this girl in this movie whose name we never learn, and who's the cause of so much destruction, so much death in the movie. I think she kills like, what, 2 or 3 people in that part of the movie? And again, does that make her a villain? No, it's not that easy. Does that make her a hero? No, it's not that easy. It's complicated. But the thing is, not only is she female, and we don't, like, if you've never seen the movie and you watch it and you don't expect her, whoever it is that's killing all those guys, you don't expect that person to be female because of the environment. You just expect a male sniper. But she's definitely not male, and she's not old. She's not. This is a teenage girl, kind of like Dolores in the movie Lolita. All right, and so I wonder if these people who scream misogyny and sexism about directors like Stanley and David Lynch, like, have they taken the time to analyze this character? And I've seen people, won't name names, but I've seen people who analyze this movie and they say, oh, maybe she's angry because she's, one of the prostitutes. Or maybe she, in other parts of her life during this war, she's also engaged in selling her body, prostitution. And that's why she's so angry at these. No, I don't think that's it. I'm not going to say who said that. You can maybe figure it out on your own. None of my business. I'm not going to go there. But, that I don't think that's it. I don't think that's it. This girl, whatever her name is, with the pigtails and the gun, she's serious. She means business. She's tiny. She's tiny, and that doesn't mean she's, she's not. I mean, is this a child? Is she what, about 13 or 14 or 15, playing this character? And we don't get to know very much about this character. All we know is that she is the cause of a lot of carnage in the movie. And again, I've seen people in the past, long time ago, say that the scene at the end of the movie is very highly sexual because Joker's not knife, but his gun chokes up, or and then the pistol chokes up too, and that has sexual connotations. He is not able to, I guess, symbolically ejaculate. Yeah, I mean, there might be some aspect of that there, but it's not. Ugh. I gotta think about it. I gotta turn over the grilled cheese sandwich. But there's something, again, that's like I was talking about with Gershom, there's levels to this shit. And if that is a level at all, it's only one level, or it's a very low vibrational kind of level. Just comparing Joker's gun to his dingaling. And his dingaling isn't working, and that makes him less of a man or whatever. I don't know. No. There's something else going on. There's something else going on. And that moment speaks to Joker's character, and not necessarily in the sexual sense. But Stanley's doing something interesting in this movie, and having this character, this girl, as like the culminating point of everything that we've been literally and figuratively marching towards in the movie regarding armed conflict and why it even exists, and how that has to do with human sexuality, and how, what is the connection between those two. People, y'all, like y'all in the comments for this, somebody said, I need to watch Full Metal Jacket. Oh, Boxy. Hey, Boxy. I need to watch Full Metal Jacket in order to comment. To be quite honest, I haven't seen it yet, and it seems it is more than worthy watching it. And Need to Know says, oh, yes, it's worth it, And if you're thinking of, yeah, there's the Gershom, hello. I guess I can do a quick little viewer mail while I got you on the line. The recruits become death. Birth is of woman. The machine mocks life and gives birth to death. The weapon, Zayin, also means membership. Ooh. Oh, damn it, Gershom. You always got to give me more to think about. I love it. But thank you. Dave Gentry also finds Joker very unlikable. There's something about him that is not okay. Not okay. Anno Domini. So the bathroom in FMJ is an impossible space, just like the bathroom in the Gold Room in The Shining. I think so. And the bathroom is where, people poop, right? And it does, like, spatially it shouldn't exist. That should tell us something. Maybe these guys in the movie, Joker and all the other guys, they think they're men, but they're really children, mentally. And Dave says, I always found Joker to be very unlikable too. Thank you, Dave. He's not funny or charming, and yet he fancies himself so. I know, right? Like, just like the author of this article. I mean, I couldn't keep reading, but very similar to Joker. And no one seems to call him on it. No, they don't, Dave. Not including the drill sergeant. The only person who sees through Joker's bullshit is Sergeant Hartman. And then later in the second half of the movie, another higher up officer that kind of dresses him down. But these guys who represent authority figures, they've seen it all. Maybe they're not all knowing, but they've seen it all, and they've seen people like Joker before, and they know what the hell's going on, and they know that they don't take anything or anyone seriously. They think people like Joker think they're better than everybody else. And guys like Sergeant Hartman, they're very good psychologists. These drill sergeants, they can take one look at you, and from what I've been told, and zero in on like what's wrong with you. What are your insecurities? What are your weaknesses? What are your delusions regarding yourself? And then they pick a name for you, like Joker, and then they lay into you. And that's why Sergeant Hartman keeps saying to Joker, are you a killer? Show me your war face. And he knows that Joker is not a killer. And that's not necessarily a positive thing, because he's incapable of defending himself. Just like what I was talking about, like, an abusive marriage kind of situation. A woman not leaving, like if a man was in the same situation, being abused by their partner, and the man didn't leave and just kept taking it and taking it and taking it. What would we call that man? Whatever we would call that man, the woman should be called the same thing. And Joker is that guy. He doesn't stand up for himself. He just makes snide little comments and tries to win people over with humor, because that's all he has. He is not a killer. He doesn't have the cojones to, in what did Hartman say? So you will not choke in the moment of truth. And that's exactly what he does. And he thinks of himself as much better than Private Pile. Private Pile did not choke at the moment of truth. He killed himself, allegedly, if that's not a dream sequence, if that's not a product of Joker's deluded mind. I don't know. I still need to watch more and think more about it. Indeed, Joker seems to be, thank you, Dave. I'm going to continue with your comment. Joker seems to be generally respected by his fellows and peers, sorry. I think that's a very subtle commentary by Stanley Kubrick on the human situation too. Is Kubrick saying that brazen and bold mediocrity is tolerable and acceptable to the masses? I think you might be right, David. I think maybe that is what Stanley Kubrick is saying. Like all the people that we admire, or that we're taught to admire. No, maybe we wouldn't admire them naturally, but we're taught to admire smarmy mediocrity, just like Joker. Interesting, right? And then you say interesting video, miss it. Thank you. I think your comment is interesting, Dave Gentry, and I love it. Thanks for making it. Thank you, Dave Gentry, for writing this comment. And Gersham's comment. Jesus Christ. I'm going to have to think about that one, Gershom. The machine mocks life and gives birth to death. Oof. The weapon Zayn also means membership. Thank you, because you thank you for leaving that with me here. That wisdom. The weapon Zayn also means membership. So I'm obsessed with the letter Zayn in the Hebrew alphabet because I think Stanley features it indirectly. I've seen it in The Shining. I've seen it in Full Metal Jacket in the form of the number 7. I need to watch Eyes Wide Shut again and keep an eye out for the Zayn. Oh dear. Oh dear. Tancred says, great video. You reminded me to check something out in Lolita. The gold boot could be an award for the best boot camp. It might be. It might be. I was thinking the gold boot was referring to Patton, maybe a Patton Award. In the 1970 movie, Patton was upset with a soldier with PTSD. A few days following, the newspaper posted a cartoon with Patton and a Nazi boot. It's been years when I saw Patton, so I'm 80% sure about my memory. So, that's interesting. That's interesting. Now, I gotta figure out that boot. But thank you, Tankard. And I check something out in Lolita. I can't wait. Whatever you're cooking, whatever you got in the crock pot, I can't wait to get a serving of it. My goodness. Mike Leslie 2940. Greatest movie of all time, enough said. Shows the brutal reality of war. God bless America. Have a nice day. Okay, thank you, Mike. I'm Delta. Thank you. He says, Dear Miss M, another fantastic video I watched with great pleasure and not without coffee, of course. I have to say something about the vents. I'm sorry, but the vents are not vents, but a reflection of the ceiling beam of the window below. I'm a little disappointed, but the truth is the truth. I'm not going to argue with the truth. If that's what's going on, then that's what's going on. And thank you for letting me know, Delta. Everything in the barracks has been treated with glossy paint. That fact alone is extremely interesting, Delta. Like, why? They could have used matte paint. They could have used a matte finish. Why glossy? I mean, as glossy is another word for shining. So, you know how I feel about that. You can also see it in the standing column, which can be seen just above the soldier's helmet. I have thought long and hard about the toilets. They would go right through the dormitory. I couldn't resist making a 3D drawing and looking for a solution to make it possible. It may be far-fetched, but I think I did it. I will make a short video of this. I can't wait. You guys, I'm showcasing Delta again for a reason. I want everybody to go over there, subscribe, hit the notification bell, watch all of Delta's videos once, twice, 3 times. Do it. Do it. You'll thank me later and thank Delta later. Thank you, Delta. What's this? Oh yes. Okay, so you watched Full Metal Jacket. Now you can speak on it. Great, great. Okay, great. But this girl in Full Metal Jacket, she represents something that Stanley is trying to tell us about femininity and the feminine situation, a woman's lot in life, so to speak. I told you I'm not a feminist, and I meant it. Okay, but you know what? I am. I am. I like to believe a rational person. So yes, I don't agree with feminism, but I also do see and notice and understand that women have been treated poorly throughout history on the grand scale and on the micro scale. Okay, as a group, as a whole, and individual, I've been treated poorly. Me. Maybe that's why I'm so passionate about this. I've been treated very poorly. I won't get into it because it's not worth it. But I've been treated poorly in social situations. I've been treated poorly in employment situations, business situations. Um, and I believe that it is partially, yes, yes, because I'm female. Yes, that is what I believe. But I've also observed something in my own life that might not, you know, might not be a reflection, might not be similar to every other woman's life. Maybe it's just me, Miss M. The people who have treated me the worst have been women. Men have been, awful at some points, but the real horror in my life has come from women. Every single last opportunity I've ever had in my life was there because a man gave me a chance and said, "Okay, if you want to work, work. If you want to prove yourself, here's an opportunity for you to prove yourself." And these are men that I had that I didn't know from Adam, who provided me with an opportunity to work and prove myself. Women? Mm-mm. No. I can basically say never. Women have never. And they've had chances to. And a lot of these women were, self-claimed uh, feminists. But when hiring time rolled around, they hired a man. When promotion time rolled around, they promoted a man. Vehement feminists. I've never gotten any help from a woman. Not any meaningful help. Nothing that mattered. But any chance or any opportunity I've ever had in my life came from a man. I don't know why, but that's been my experience. Um, do I hate women? No. But they are flawed. We are flawed. I'm female too. Women are flawed. Why are we so flawed? Why do we need something like feminism? Um, like I said, why do we need to be flattered by an ideology that tells us we're too stupid to make our own decisions? And we find that flattering. Yes, we do. Because it provides a perfect scapegoat. Our enemy is basically every man on planet Earth. I'm sorry, I think there's something wrong with that. And even though I have been treated poorly by men in so many different situations and contexts, I don't blame all men. I blame only the men who treated me badly in that situation. Not every single last one on planet Earth. Does that make sense? But, that's it. And this little girl in Full Metal Jacket, the sniper girl, why? What is the symbolism behind her? What she's a personification of something. We don't expect her to be nearly as deadly as she is. We don't expect her to, we don't expect it to be her. We expect it to be a man. And we don't expect her to be that accurate with her aim. We we don't expect her to be that brave. what she's doing can be interpreted as brave. Yeah. I mean, when it comes time to kill her, does she deserve to die? I don't know. Well, in order for the shooting to stop and to stop guys getting hit with all those bullets, yeah, I guess it is necessary for her to die, if you're going to look at it from the soldiers' perspective. But this isn't just like a practical situation that Stanley is showing to us. This is something, again, symbolizing something else that might, in turn, itself symbolize yet a third thing. I don't know. It's maybe a meta symbol. I don't know. I don't know. But like, we need to think about this girl, and we need to think about her. Oh my God. Wait a minute. Ugh. Gonna go back to Wendy for a second. Ooh. Yeah, look at the scarf around her neck. Wendy is wearing something very similar when she makes that phone call to the forest ranger. She's wearing a plaid or a tartan scarf around her neck, just like Nicole. Alice is wearing a robe, the exact same shade of blue as the robe that Wendy wears in the last part of The Shining. Oh, Lord, 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 Lord. So these are the big three. So the big three movies, The Shining, Full Metal, and Eyes Wide. And the big three women, Wendy, Sniper Girl, and Alice. Okay? So I think I've talked at you enough for one video. I needed to get this off my chest. I needed to let you know, like, this is what I'm struggling with lately. Mentally, intellectually, psychically, emotionally, spiritually, in so many different ways, in so many different aspects. I need to work through this. And I'm going to use Stanley and David to help me. And if you want to come along for the ride, feel free. Okay. So that's it, and that's all. I think I've said everything I need to say for this video. I hope I've provided you something to think about. I think I do try. I do try to make it interesting for you. It's me expressing my thoughts, my observations, my interpretations of my observations, my opinions. Yes, but please I don't want you to think that I'm trying to like foist anything upon you. I want you to have your own thoughts. And I'm hoping that my thoughts will inspire you to have your own thoughts. I don't know. But let me know in the comments. You know I love them. So that's it, and that's all. So returning viewers, thank you for returning. New viewers, thank you for being new. Subscribers, thank you for subscribing. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share the video if you know anybody who might like my particular brand of nonsense. And I do place emphasis on liking and commenting because, that's a great free way to support my channel by liking it. And the comments, I just love reading. I wish there were so many more, but I know that you all have lives, so there's that's that. Okay, I'm gonna put these two articles in the description so you can take a look at them yourself. See, look at that baseball bat, Lord. Okay, and then there's the fact that a beautiful woman is here is just terrible. Is it just jealousy? Is that what feminism is about? Jealousy? And listen, if that's what it's about, we gonna talk about it in the future while I'm doing my other videos for art historical perspectives and this, that, and the other. Don't forget to check out the Japonette, okay? If you so wish. Let me know. Let me know. And I'm still working on the potential giveaway with images from The Shining. Maybe I'll do like a big three oversized postcard giveaway, like iconic images from The Shining, Full Metal, and Eyes Wide Shut. Who knows? We'll see. But I'm gonna work on it. Like I said, January has been a mess for me. A good mess, but a mess nonetheless. I'm spread a little too thin. So let's hope that February is productive and successful, but like a little more mellow. So that's it. That's all I have to say for today. So until next time, you all, until the next time when I find yet another reason to talk at you in one of these videos, I'm gonna go ahead and bid you bye-bye. So, bye-bye, everybody.